Hey, everybody, and welcome to Lords of the Night. Joining me, as always, is the Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
Sitting in for SDA today is the Lord of Philosophy. Say hi, Polly.
Hello.
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Right out of the gate.
And
come like that. Okay.
I am your Lord of Pain, coming right out of the gate. The Ranting Monkey. And you're not crazy. We're on my channel again tonight. SDA is not feeling well, so she's not going to be with us, and so we're doing it over here. How is everyone tonight?
Doing good. Doing good.
I'm doing well. I need to say something before we begin, because I watched in looking for some material today. I came across a lecture that reminded me of something that we don't do often enough here, and that is take a moment before we begin to acknowledge that we are standing on land that was once trodden upon by the greatest victims of cosmic genocide ever known, the dinosaurs. So I just want to make a moment to remember our friends, the dinosaurs.
To the dinosaurs.
Yeah, because all these speeches I see, they always say, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the fact that we stand on Native American land. And I was like, oh, yeah, ooh, yeah, Guilt Trip City. Guilt Trip City. Anyway.
Thank you for your fossil fuels. We appreciate
exactly.
it.
Thank
well
you
played.
for your
do we need to get into anything before we start news?
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of anything.
Oh, well, Saturday will be on SDA's channel as a swap for tonight.
Oh, yes.
But yeah.
I have a lot to say once we get to YouTube time, but at the moment, nothing. So do we want to jump into a story?
Sure, but first, Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And share our material. We try to do with as many women as possible.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, hashtag me too, Scribe. Jesus.
Yeah.
Before we get into the news, I did get a super chat before we started. Thank you, yes. Crazy Opinion. On this day, 31 years ago, I was born into this crazy ass world. Thank God I'm American. I have the power trumps patriarchy behind me as American. You do, and you know what else you have? You have our melodious voices wishing you a happy birthday. Are we all ready? And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To you.
Molly,
you know the song. Join in. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To
Happy birthday.
Crazy Opinion.
Youngs.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Crazy. Hope you had a good
happy birthday.
So,
Angry Introvert says he shared my video on their Facebook page. Thank you so much, guys. In all seriousness, if you enjoy somebody's content, mine or Scribe's or anyone else's, share as much as you can, because that really helps creators out.
Mm-hmm. Well, now,
world today.
Well, we have breaking news. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Oh my God! You break it, you buy it, even if it's fake, because it's news. The New York Times has published a story saying that Trump called for Mueller's firing in June of 2017. Ooh, he called for it. Did he get it?
Called for it.
No, but anyway, it's a very short little blurb from CNN because they're just retweeting the New York Times. But President Donald Trump called for special counsel Robert Mueller's firing last June, the New York Times reported Thursday evening, citing 4 people told of the matter. But the president never went through with the order, according to the Times report, because White House counsel Don McGahn threatened to quit instead of carrying out the order. Mueller is currently investigating any possible ties between the Trump campaign and Russia during his 2016 election. Trump has repeatedly denied any collusion. Okay, so he threatened to do something, but he didn't do it. And that was months ago. Okay.
First, a super chat from Flair Fritz. Thank you so much. Normally my ears bleed from this, but with Polly here, now I also have HPV. Thanks, guys.
Ouch. God damn.
Damn.
Wow.
Did that say that the special counsel, or not, sorry, the White House counsel threatened to quit rather than carry out the order?
Yeah, well, I can actually read the New York Times article if you'd like.
Sure. I'm just, if you can,
Yes,
I'm just
that is
wondering
that is what he did.
why the hell that would be his job to fire Mueller?
Well, that is the chain of command, I think. Well, no, wait. So the how'd it go? The department. Hold on. The attorney general could fire the special prosecutor,
Right.
but Trump can't. So the president can't replace or fire the special prosecutor. The attorney general can, but Sessions had recused himself, and Rosenstein said he wasn't going to. So unless Trump fired Rosenstein and/or Sessions, he would then be able to put somebody in there who would fire Mueller. But he never did that, so I'm not quite sure. Unless the special counsel is the first link in that chain. I don't know.
The White House counsel shouldn't be involved in that at all. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, let's read the story. President Trump ordered the firing last June of Robert S. Mueller III, the special counsel overseeing the Russia investigation, according to 4 people told of the matter, but ultimately backed down after the White House counsel threatened to resign rather than carry out the directive. The West Wing confrontation marks the first time Mr. Trump is known to have tried to fire the special counsel. Mr. Mueller learned about the episode in recent months as his investigators interviewed current and former senior White House officials in his inquiry into whether the president obstructed justice. Amid the first wave of news media reports that Mr. Mueller was examining a possible obstruction case, the president began to argue that Mr. Mueller had 3 conflicts of interest that disqualified him from overseeing the investigation, 2 of the people said. The people. First, he claimed that a dispute years ago over fees at Trump National Golf Club in Sterling, Virginia, had prompted Mr. Mueller, the FBI director at the time, to resign his membership. The president also said Mr. Mueller could not be impartial because he had recently worked for the law firm that previously represented the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Finally, the president said Mr. Mueller had been interviewed to return to the FBI director. Had been interviewed to return as the FBI director the day before he was appointed special counsel in May. After receiving the president's order to fire Mr. Mueller, the White House counsel, Donald F. McGahn II, refused to ask the Justice Department to dismiss the special counsel, saying he would quit instead. Okay, so the special counsel is sort of the first link in the chain to start the process, I guess. So that's why he was involved. They spoke on the people said, the 4 people. They spoke on the condition of anonymity because they did not want to be identified discussing a continuing investigation. Of course they didn't. Mr. McGahn disagreed with the president's case and told senior White House officials that firing Mr. Mueller would have had a catastrophic effect on Mr. Trump's presidency. Mr. McGahn also told White House officials that Mr. Trump would not follow through on the dismissal on his own. The president then backed off. Ty Cobb, not the baseball player, amazingly enough, who manages the White House's relationship with Mr. Mueller's office, said in a statement, quote, "We decline to comment out of respect for the office of the special counsel and its process." Mr. McGahn, a longtime Republican campaign finance lawyer in Washington who served on the Federal Election Commission, was the top lawyer on Mr. Trump's campaign. He has been involved in nearly every key decision Mr. Trump has made, like the firing of the former FBI director that is being scrutinized by Mr. Mueller. Mr. McGahn was also concerned that firing the special counsel would incite more questions about whether the White House was trying to obstruct the Russia investigation. This goes on for quite some time longer, but that's the meat of it all.
That article was bandied about in my department, political science. So of course we talked about, and it's over you saying it's kind of a nothing burger. There's a lot of repetition and recitation of what has already happened. New York Times has already covered the bulk of it. Like you said, like it goes on and on. Yeah, to repeat things that they've already said.
Yes.
The whole story can be summarized in Trump inquired after the possibility of firing so-and-so. The White House counsel was involved because can I legally do this?
Holy shit.
Whoa!
Yeah. Whoa.
I don't mean to interrupt, but
interrupt away.
Shit. Superman, thank you so much for the donation with the message. Keep it up. We will do our best. Thank you so much. Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, Monkey can definitely afford some Viagra now, so he'll keep it up.
Yeah, but Lady Monkey won't let me do anything with it.
No. Anyway, back to
sure
politics. Back to politics.
Back to politics. Yeah. So basically, Trump was told somebody to go do this.
Yes.
It would still ultimately be from him. But I do love the 4 people. And why do I'm surprised I didn't hear unnamed sources in there one time. They actually, just 4 people, 2 people. I miss my.
It's not accidental that the story came out right after. Trump confronted reporters. There's a battle for the narrative going on right now. Should it be about Russia or should it be about the memo? And is this investigation dirty as hell because there's a secret society? I love that they called themselves that. I just love it. Is it this sort of investigation that was based upon DNC research that they themselves paid for through Fusion to generate this Trump memo or Trump dossier and then use that as the basis to spy on the man? I mean, that stinks of Watergate-esque on multiple levels.
It does.
We're going to generate the reasons to spend millions of taxpayer dollars in surveilling our political opponents for, no pun intended, trumped up reasons. That's the basis of it. Release the memo and we'll find out. It's not an accident that the New York Times is releasing this story, which doesn't amount to very much. The argument that they're pursuing with it is it shows a consciousness of guilt on Trump's part. He knows he's up to something. That's why he fired one guy. It's why he was inquiring after firing another.
The 4 unnamed people thing and all this chain of information that comes out of the White House. I remember when I used to go to hockey games, the fans would sort of chant a curse at the opposing goalie. They'd cheer out, or a goalie that was doing a bad job on the home team. They'd chant out "Siv, Siv, Siv," because he couldn't block anything.
Everything gets through. That's funny.
Yeah, everything gets through. And I tell you what, more and more, I'm just like, the White House is a sieve. It's because we always have these unnamed sources and everything. And this might be entirely accurate, but like you say, it was a thing that didn't happen. It's sort of like saying, it's like, this rock keeps tigers away. You want to buy it for $5,000? You don't see these tigers around here, do you? Like, oh, for God's sake.
Do you still have the story open?
No, but I can get it real quick.
Well, you're doing that. One thing that I've joked about repeatedly, but if I was Donald Trump, and he's kind of a smartass, he's sort of a shitlord himself. When I was sitting down with a meeting with a bunch of people, there would be one time where I would lose my temper and say, "No, I want the media to be informed of this, but everybody in the room, they're going to keep their mouth closed, right?"
So what do you need, Monkey?
I want you to read the part about the 4 people again.
Okay, so where'd it go? So that'd be right at the top. Okay, so President Trump ordered the firing last June of Robert S. Mueller III, the special counsel overseeing the Russia investigation, according to 4 people told of the matter. That's how they're described. Yeah.
4 people told of the matter. This isn't one of the cases where they're saying, 4 people within the White House just told us. I noticed as you were reading it, they never mentioned this coming from the White House anywhere.
Yeah, well, they must be. I mean, given Trump's threats about leaks and everything else, they're probably being very, very cagey about giving any information away about their sources now. Even the suggestion of where they might originate from.
Well, with the way they said that, I mean, you could have told me and Polly that you heard this. And then me and him would be we could say, well, we're 2 people who were told about it.
Yeah, it could be anybody down the chain of the telephone game, because right now, I mean,
it could be their favorite escort they told over pillow talk.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, where's the news going to get their sources if the leaks start being plugged up? So they got to be even more covert and more vague about where it's coming from.
I'm not thinking this came from the White House at all. There's no way it did.
They would say it if, close to the investigation, inside sources in the White House, because that always lends it credibility. I agree. If it was from inside the White House or anything close to it, they would have said so, and you got a super chat.
Thank you so much, Whiskey Theorizes. Potential deep topic. Do women in the WNBA sexually harass? If not, why don't feminists make a big deal about it? And why is the WNBA popular? Can Christy Winters tell us her favorite all-female team? Yeah, the WNBA isn't popular. It's because those women are built like men. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't mean to get stuck on that. Oh, and thank you so much for the super chat. I didn't mean to get stuck on that point. It just, that really jumped out to me because I've never seen a story like this where they didn't specifically say it came from the White House. Or, a source inside the White House.
Yeah, source inside the White House or the Justice Department. Like name at least the entity from which it originates. Yeah.
They literally say 4 people who were told.
As a quick little side note, Jack Cochran said escorts are paid to keep their mouths shut. They don't want new holes. Well,
womp womp.
Classic Jack motherfucking Cochran line. But they used to be paid to keep their mouths closed. Think how many. I mean, the porn star coming out. What was her name? Mandy Mounds or whatever, telling her old story of spanking Trump.
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels. I mean, such a 70s porn star name, But she can't keep her mouth closed. The guy the woman who brought down Spitzer was a literal escort being paid, and she sold her story and then sold herself for a centerfold. I mean, yeah, it's not really that way anymore. Keep your mouth closed. It's more like, oh, look, I'm banging an important person. This is a windfall of cash for me in a year or so.
Thank you. Nope. Built like men who still can't dunk. Yeah. Built like white guys. So we have a few more news topics, and there's one I'm really dying to get to. So what else do you have, Scribbles?
Well, we have the other big story of the day with the wheeling and dealing at the White House regarding immigration.
Okay, let's hold that for a minute. Because me and Polly are both going to get grumpy about that.
Okay, then I'll move on to some new Hollywood scandal. Casey Affleck has withdrawn from presenting this year's Best Actress Oscar. Casey Affleck will not be presenting the Best Actress Award at this year's Oscar ceremony. It's Academy tradition for the previous year's Best Actor winner to present the Best Actress Oscar. Affleck won the Best Actor award in 2017 for his role in Manchester by the Sea. Affleck's representatives confirmed to CNN that he will not be attending this year's Academy Awards, which takes place on March 4th. The representative did not give any details as to why Affleck would not be participating. Deadline was the first to report on the actor's withdrawal. Affleck's decision, however, comes amid an anti-sexual harassment movement that swept Hollywood and other industries, and he has been previously accused of sexual assault. Yeah, apparently so.
Accused,
yes. Well, Affleck was sued in 2010 for sexual harassment by 2 women who worked with him on the film I'm Still Here. Both cases were settled out of court for undisclosed amounts. In 2016, the details of those lawsuits surfaced during his award season campaign, and Affleck told the New York Times in an email at the time, quote, "It was settled to the satisfaction of all. I was hurt and upset. I am sure all were, but I'm over it. I'm reading it as it's written. It was an unfortunate situation, mostly for the innocent bystanders of the families of those involved," unquote. Okay. So anyway, that might be why, but they haven't confirmed it.
Real quick, thank you, Sanguine. I thought whores were paid to keep their mouths full.
Wah, wah.
Depends on which hole you ask for. Okay, so somebody with... if I had even the slightest hint, you couldn't pay me to go to the Oscars. No way.
Oh, I'd take money to go to the Oscars.
No, if you were accused of any kind of sexual harassment right now, fuck no.
Yeah. That's all the stories I had. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to do my story, and then we'll get back to the immigration one, because I do want to cover that. Hey, guys, this one, it wasn't even sent to me. It just popped up in my timeline on Twitter, and oh, my God. This comes from Campus Reform.
Oh, yeah.
Students hold bleed-in to demand free menstrual products. I want let that sink in for a second.
I don't want it to. That'll stain my pants.
University of Florida, who didn't see that coming? University of Florida students held a bleed-in demonstration Tuesday, going around campus with fake blood on their pants to protest the lack of free menstrual products. A student government committee recently rejected a proposal to fund... Listen to this sentence here. They rejected a proposal to fund free menstrual products through a mandatory student fee.
Okay.
Am I the only one that noticed that free had both funding and a fee attached to it? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, University of Florida students walked around campus Tuesday with fake menstrual blood on their pants to protest the lack of free feminine hygiene products on campus. On January 15th, a government committee rejected a proposal to give them the free stuff. A student group called Gatters Matters Period, which began circulating a petition in support. Gatters Matter Period.
What's a gatter?
I'm just laughing at this. Like, gators like a person?
That's what gators? I mean gators?
Oh, maybe it is gators.
Gators. Florida Gators, right?
Okay, yeah, it's like gators. Like people with guns or something? What the fuck?
But the next word is matter, so wouldn't you want them rhyming? Okay.
Well, they're dumb students. They don't know how to rhyme. They failed poetry.
It's Gatters.
Oh, then that doesn't make it. Then I don't know what a gatter is. Someone's gonna have to tell me what a gatter is.
Wouldn't you pronounce that gatters?
I suppose so. I didn't see how it was spelled. I thought maybe you were mispronouncing it somehow. But what's a
no? I know what a gator is. I just put it in chat. Gatters. Anyway,
hold on. Gatter in German means gate or fence.
I doubt that's what they were going for, but maybe.
Fences matter. Period. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Which began. Excuse me. They began circulating a petition in support of the proposal last fall, responded by organizing a bleed-in protest during which roughly 24 students
oh my god
stained the back of their pants red.
Okay. I thought it was a literal bleed-in. That's a little better.
Oh, you shit yourself, did you?
You shit blood. Go see a doctor.
See a proctologist. This is part of reproductive justice, Shannon Matthews, who is among the first students to join the protest, told The Alligator. I'm not ashamed of my period, and I don't think anyone should be. What the fuck does that have to do with being ashamed of your period? Paying for your own shit. Sir Adamantine, thank you for the donation. There's something soothing about hearing Monkey and Scribe as I go to sleep. Thanks, guys. Oh, God, and we have Polly on, too. You should, drift right out.
Oh, yeah.
We're soothing you to go to sleep, but I don't know what that means exactly. I think your ears might be masochists.
A Facebook event page for the Are You Seeing Red demonstration. Jesus.
Love it.
Fuck me.
No, I can't. I'm colorblind.
Oh my God. Anyway, explains that participants wore washable dye on their bums as if we didn't have a pad and bled through.
Wow.
The organizers provided supplies for those in need of them, but encouraged students to bleed in however you want as well.
However I want.
Okay, you guys ready? No. Ready for the next line?
Yeah, I am.
I don't know if I am.
Following the protest, the proposal was discussed at a meeting of the full Student Senate, where the Alligator reports the Senate President, Ian Green, announced a decision had been made to provide free menstrual products at the student union starting in February. It worked.
Yeah. Why not?
12 fucking people put dye on their pants, and now they're getting free shit.
I thought it was 2 dozen. I thought it was 2
okay,
dozen.
2 dozen. 24. I'm sorry.
Yeah, get it right, monkey. Jeez.
24 people, and now everybody's going to get a fee to pay for these women's free shit.
The student union already charges us a fee at my campus to pay for menstrual products and condoms and everything else that's for free.
It's not free.
But no, I hear you. But it the idea is everybody's paying into it as in a communal source because yay communism. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah, I've paid a fee for a long time for that.
Are you seeing red?
Well, okay. During the meeting, some senators pointed out that free menstrual products are already available on campus through the Field and Fork Pantry.
The what?
Field and Fork Pantry. I don't know.
Fork?
Students are allowed to take up to 3 bags of menstrual products per week, each containing 8 tampons, 5 liners, and 5 pads. But student activists...
That sounds like a lot. Isn't that enough?
Oh, wait. Listen to this next part. But student activists retorted that the option is too limited.
So they wanted the extra long wings and the perfect plastic applicator. I don't understand what option.
3 bags of this a week. So each week you can get 24 tampons, 15 liners, and 15 pads.
That's a lot.
Over the course of a month, that is 96 tampons. What we got? And 60 liners and 60 pads.
Oh my God.
Free already. What the fuck? Oh my God.
What were they protesting over then? I don't understand. Were they like more variety in brands and stuff? I don't
know. Real quick. Thank you, Sanguine. I hope their free ones are like wadded up lab paper toilets.
Yeah.
And thank you. Nope. Have we talked about CNN cucking is good story? No, I saw that headline and forgot to grab it. MSS News us that one. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, so yeah, these women are all pissed off because they can't get their pads free, even though they can.
They can get freer pads.
Freer pads.
Yes.
Oh,
and
sorry. Crazy opinion. That was horrible of us to do on your birthday. Thank you for the super chat. He says, "What the fuck? I'm eating barbecue chicken and trying to listen to this. Oh God." Was
do have a brief story.
So, sure.
Before we get on to the immigration thing, was there another story before immigration? I forget.
No.
Okay. So, did you guys ever cover the Black Panther trailer that came out in the conversation in and around it?
A little bit.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about some Black Panther controversies.
Yeah, I mean, I read a number of them, and this is an older article, but it's not so much the article that caught my attention. Shady Grin posted this last night in our Discord, and it caught my attention. It's the comments underneath it that really grabbed my attention. It's quite short. The headline being, "The Black Panther trailer shows what Africa would have been like if white people didn't destroy it."
Oh, yes. I remember reading that. Yeah.
And it goes into what you would think. The trailer with just in a few seconds, we see a white man, Everett Ross, who is interviewing another man, Claude, describing the most common stereotypes about the countries in Africa. Soon he is asked what he knows about Wakanda, and we see the visuals of the place, El Dorado, so on. And then he proceeds to, and you see it. It's very futuristic. Looks like almost Jetson-y with cars going, but and this is the fantasy, right? We this is part of the We Was Kang's legend. But the comments underneath it, they cover the full range of things, from like insanely racist stuff about mud huts and, on and on. Like, are you kidding me? But the majority of them are all comments about how incredibly out of canon it is, that you clearly don't even know anything about it. It's like Wakanda in the comic book is fantastically advanced because they had the money to be. The
because of vibranium.
Yeah, the world's lone monopoly on vibranium, and it's extremely valuable and so on. And T'Challa, being like a smart man, wise leader, used the money to send people around, be educated, and come back and build things, and brought in foreign contractors to build things. And that's why it looks so spectacularly different from every other nation. Wise leadership, big resources. But more than that, the whole commentary, there's those comments, the lore, and then a whole bunch of people talking about the Arab slave trade.
Okay.
Well, colonize Africa is it's. I was surprised to hear that, because you rarely hear people mention it. For a millennia and a half. Well, not quite a millennia and a half, like 1,300 years. They ran colonies. The Arabs ran colonies out of Africa, and they did this. And it's interesting. I wonder how many of these people are trolls and how many are not. It's got me thinking about this since the Kathy Newman thing with Dr. Peterson popped off. Where the narrative has become, anybody who disagrees or posts comments in favor of Dr. Peterson is clearly an angry misogynist troll.
Sure.
And it got me thinking, how many of these people are actually trolls, and how successful is that narrative? Like, does the author of this article read this stuff and really walk away thinking, oh, I didn't even think about the Arab slave trade. It's like Europeans only colonized that place like literally centuries and centuries later. And I said something. Do you think this actually has an impact on their thinking? Kathy Newman, the author of this article, people over at The Root, whoever.
Well, I mean, I think it has as much of an impact on someone as a right winger listening to Rush Limbaugh in the 90s. I mean, you're just sort of like, reverberating your own paranoia or hatreds. It's just echo chamber red meat that gets clicks for the most part. I mean, anybody who knows the comic books will look at that and say, well, that may be your interpretation, but that's just out of the comic books. And it certainly wasn't the thought put into it by the people who made the thing in the first place. So yeah, it's just clickbait, I think, for the true believers.
And everybody else. I mean, if you
if I want to be offended by somebody else's stupidity, I'll go read that article, same thing. Yeah.
And it gets me thinking very cynically. You know, how many of the people that are promoting these things and writing these things actually believe a damn word of what they're saying? Because like the Root, how many times do they make self-aware reference of their Caucasian readers?
Yeah.
They damn well know that the majority of people who frequent them are white and laughing at them.
Well, and there was that one time where they did a Q&A and they were asked, you know, if anybody wrote stories about black people or white people, depending on the circumstances, the way you guys write about your stories, you guys would be offended as hell. And they'd be like, no, we wouldn't. Like, yeah, horse shit. It's just like, yeah, absolute horse shit. It's just, now how many of them believe it? Who knows? Yeah, I'm not a mind reader. It's hard to tell. I've, as far as the Root's concerned, I've seen a couple of live streams where a lot of the writers and contributors to the Root have had conversations about stuff. And listening to most of them, they sound relatively reasonable about some things. Other times they sound a little bit, you know, haven't drank the Kool-Aid on some things. So it's difficult to tell. But, I mean, that's kind of beside the point, I suppose.
All right. A little bit of interest and fun before immigration. Let's do it.
All right. Immigration. So the White House has apparently, and I don't know where the source is from, I guess we'll find out. The White House proposes a path to citizenship for 1.8 million people, which is about 1 million more than we've previously heard numbers for the DACA 800,000. President, and I can only imagine that either that means, like Monkey said on Twitter, that includes the estimated 1 million other people who were eligible for DACA but didn't sign up, or alternately, or maybe included, the proposal moves that deadline date back by some unknown number of months or years or something.
Well, the reason that I mentioned that 1 million and it being people who didn't sign up when they were supposed to is, at least in the article I read, they specifically mentioned it was people who were originally covered under DACA.
Okay. President Donald Trump is proposing giving 1.8 million young undocumented immigrants a pathway to citizenship in exchange for $25 billion for his long-promised wall and a host of other strict immigration reforms, according to a White House framework proposed Thursday. In what the White House framed as a dramatic concession and compromise, Trump would accept a path to citizenship not just for the roughly 700,000, undocumented immigrants were, Okay, I'm reading it as it's written, CNN. Thank you. Trump would accept a path to citizenship not just for the roughly 700,000 undocumented immigrants were covered by the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program when it was ended. But the proposal would also cover those undocumented immigrants who meet the DACA criteria but did not sign up, and even more who would be newly eligible under the proposal's timeframe requirements, giving legal status and a pathway to citizenship for about 1.8 million people. In return, the White House would like to see a $25 billion investment in a trust for border infrastructure and technology, as well as more funds for personnel and an end to family migration beyond spouses and minor children. The diversity visa lottery would also be abolished, though the visas would be reallocated so that the backlog of people already waiting for family visas and highly skilled immigration green cards would be processed. In what may end up being the most contentious piece of the proposal, the White House is also looking to close, quote, legal loopholes, unquote, that will allow it to deport more immigrants, specifically as it relates to undocumented immigrants from countries that don't border the United States, which would likely include changes in immigration enforcement authority that would be virtually impossible for Democrats to swallow. The White House official sold the plan as a, quote, compromise position, unquote, that it believes would get 60 votes in the Senate, a point White House officials underscored multiple times on Thursday, and then could be sent to the House for additional improvements and modification.
Real quick, Jenna P., thank you so much. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Fight for your right to party. Lobster is a cure to everything. Everything and anything. Be kind, but not a doormat. Thank you so much. As I said on Twitter, if you're going to do this, I understand you have to negotiate in politics, and it's something that has been sorely missing in Washington for damn near 2 decades now.
Yeah.
But there is no reason to grant the extra people The Democrats have been running around for the last week and a half bitching about 800,000 people. 800,000. That's what they've said repeatedly. And the White House comes out and goes, you know what? We're going to give you an extra million.
No, there is a reason. That's exactly the reason. You know what the reason is? Put your money where your mouth is, Democrats.
Yeah, but you can do that with the 800,000.
Yeah, no, I think here's now I may be giving more credit where credit is due, as I sometimes do in movies and otherwise. I think this is a big Democrats. You've got no more room to complain, and you can't say that we're not giving you every opportunity to do what your bleeding heart says you should do. So take it or leave it. And if they don't, if they balk on this, then they look like absolute assholes by the time we get to, even more so by the time we get to the midterms.
But you would accomplish the same thing with the 800,000 without letting another million, or without amnesty for another million, which is just going to piss off your base. You just had them look like complete jackasses and have to basically give in over the budget talk because the country is like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So you give them the 800,000 that they were bitching about afterwards. And all right, now we need something in return. You don't have to give them an extra million to make that point.
Well, Polly? unless you're Trump.
Yeah.
This upsets me so badly. And for a number of reasons, like it leaves me just to say, like, the immigration thing seems like an insoluble problem. And the reason for that is, like, okay, you were talking about last night on your show, like moving the goalposts. Mm-hmm. And everybody praises Trump, who's willing to, and he himself trumpets it of, like, this is the art of the deal. If you read Trump's Art of the Deal, you know, you present something as an offer, and then, you know, you want to move back. You want to sell it for $40, what you offer for 60 and work your way down, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. What the fuck were the Dems asking for to begin with if you worked your way down to millions of people?
Yeah.
And it leads one to think that, well, you didn't pursue that method at all. You simply accepted what they offered, which leads us, you know, groping in the dark and making guesses as to what the hell was the possible thing. Well, back them into a corner and make them look bad because they're willing to do anything to disapprove of something that Trump offers. Well, what kind of strategy is that? How's that getting the illegal immigration thing and getting at the problem of it? And to me, the biggest issue is, let's say, just for the sake of argument in a hypothetical world, that passing this bill, giving these individuals a pathway to citizenship, even though they're in the country illegally, brought as a youth or otherwise, that will not be the end of it. That will not be the end of illegal immigration. Building that wall will not be the end of it. There will be millions more, and the claim will always be the same. Well, we let these people, why not these people? It's the same thing with hard deadlines for DACA, which were bullshit from day one. Because it's like, well, we set the date as January 1st of year X. Okay. Well, are you trying to tell me that somebody who arrived on January 2nd isn't as, like, blah, blah, blah? You know, hard deadlines are bullshit and will always be argued against. I don't know. It leaves me feeling hopeless about, not hopeless, but very cynical about the entire situation.
I don't think this is going to pass. I don't think the Democrats are going to vote for it because of all the stuff that they mentioned in there and the restrictions that Trump's asking for. The 1.8 million. Now, again, maybe I'm just sort of playing four-dimensional chess in my own head. But that 1.8 million number is really the headline, isn't it? It doesn't really address all the other stuff in there that makes it a poison pill for the Democrats to have to take. Now, again, optics, which is kind of ironic for me to talk about, optics on it, if the Democrats balk on an opportunity to give an extra million people in their most cherished demographic of voting blocks in several states where they're doing sanctuary cities and elsewise, if they balk on the opportunity to do that in exchange for a bunch of money, you know, which is what it is, then what they got nowhere else to go. I mean, how much of their reputations and their political capital have the Democrats pinned on the whole DACA thing over the last 6-7 months? I mean, it's all over the place. They shut down the government over it, the whole 9 yards. I honestly, first of all, I don't think it's going to pass, even if it does get. Even if this offer does somehow get to the point where it could be voted on. I don't think the Democrats will do it because they'd have to make the concessions they're talking about. And B, if they do pass it, they got to build the wall. They got to do all the other stuff. If they don't pass it, the Democrats look like idiots. Trump wins if it passes. Trump wins if it doesn't. That's really what I see here.
Thank you so much, Cryptic. And honestly, Cryptic, I've been waiting to see what your thoughts on this were. Cryptic says, this is full of shit. I should have snuck my niece and nephew across the border instead of going through 14 years of paperwork. That's basically what you're being told. Yeah.
I don't.
Here's where I disagree.
Okay.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you, Scribe. As Polly was bringing up in the art of the deal, I could understand it if they started at 800,000 and the Democrats like, no, we can't give you the wall for that. And then you go, okay, how about 1.8? That there's something to move. Now, right now, when the Democrats go to negotiate this, that number is going to have to get bigger. And that doesn't help Trump the way that I don't know anybody who's going to look at this and go, oh, this is great what Trump did here, because on his own side, I mean, this hurts them. And if the Republicans give in on something like that, or even give in on more, they're going to have to go back and explain that to people who elected them not to grant amnesty.
No, see, I don't think that the number gets bigger, because, I mean, what does Trump have to lose by putting his foot down on that number? I mean, the Democrats were never going to vote for the wall in the first place. They were going to block that from this end of the world to the other. Again, this to me seems more like a ploy to the Democrats to put their money where their mouth is. If your concern truly is more so than anything else, any of the money, I mean, they just showed this with the government shutdown. They were more concerned about the DACA recipients or qualified or whatever else than they were about the economy. So here you go. You've got more DACA recipients for a whole bunch of money, because money doesn't matter next to how many people you want to be given the opportunity to become citizens. So put up or shut up. There's no reason for Trump to have to negotiate upwards. He's already put it to them. I don't really see how this ends up becoming a failure for Trump. Either he's able to come through on a campaign promise and give the Democrats what they want, apparently, which is apparently their main focus, or he blames the Democrats for blocking his campaign promise and also abandoning 1.8 million undocumented immigrants.
It's a great claim to be able to make on Trump's part. I agree, but I'm as interesting as it is to go over what Trump is thinking. I'm much more fascinated to know what the approach of the Democrats.
Yes, no, that's really what the question is now, because what do they do with this?
But are they thinking 2018? Because I think they're thinking 2018, like in terms of the midterm elections.
They have to be. They have to be.
If they lose a fuck ton of seats, they're fucked. If they gain a fuck ton of seats, even if they authorize the money for the wall, they can defund it by having control of the House, and defund it in less obvious ways. If you want to bureaucratically resist funding, you can totally do it if you have control of the House. That's not a big deal. It's appropriations committees work. It's not.
Well, but then it's a gamble that they get a control of the House, so they can do that, though. That's the problem.
And that's exactly what I'm referring to. I would love to know what's going through the debate, the conversation room when Schumer's there. What are they thinking about? Because you can tell that, people make political moves for the optics of it, as you referred to. So you got Schumer, and he thought this government shutdown, and I thought the speech that Schumer gave on the floor was inspired. I don't agree with it. I think he was completely full of shit, but it was a very well done speech, laying the government shutdown at Trump's feet when it was him doing it. Like the gall, right? But he made his case from his own interested position very well, and it totally didn't work out. It did not go well for them and blew up in their faces. Those are the risks you take. I wonder what they're calculating is the risks of doing this, of accepting it, not accepting it, and how that affects their calculus of what's going to happen at the midterm elections. I really don't know, because you'd have to be in the room to hear what they're thinking. I mean, truly, what happens in the midterms is everything. They think they're going to win, because traditionally that's what happens. The sitting president's opposing party does very well in midterms. Okay. But I think they want to do fantastically well so they could completely overwhelm anything Donald Trump attempts to do.
Well, when talking about like negotiation, given the president's offer and given what is most unpalatable to the Democrats would have to negotiate with the president to take some of those loophole closures off the table, and then Trump's going to say, okay, well, if you want those off the table, that'll cost you 500,000 immigrants or something like that. Just that Trump's in the position to negotiate, not the Democrats.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, at least that's my reading of it. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, I would be dying to be a fly on the wall in the DNC's sort of war room right now, thinking, how can we make this work for us? Because any way we go, we're going to have to give up more than we want to get out of this, really. And there's no guarantee of 2018.
Especially because of how. Oh yeah, there is no guarantee. Sorry for cutting you off. Yeah, but there is no guarantee. They have no idea. I think they're counting on, like I said, doing kind of well, because traditionally that's the case. But they want to do like 3/4 of the House, like, because that would be. And with the ire against Trump, if they don't, well, they ended up with egg on their face after the 2016 presidential election, the midterms. If they don't do fantastic again, that's going to be very bad for them, especially with the release of the memo shit floating around. That you got, half of the Senate Intelligence Committee along party lines voting against releasing the memo. It's got to be damaging if it's even not substantive, if you know what I mean. They've got a lot of stuff that's floating around in their heads in terms of things that can damage the Democratic Party. And that's what they're spending a lot of time thinking about. Not so much the immigrants. I mean, they're out for their political interests and simply using immigrants as a tool towards that. I mean, I think anybody who's looking at it honestly sees that. I'd like to think they would anyway. I've said it before and I'll say it again. These issues need to be separated. You can't have an omnibus bill to deal with immigration. The death knell for doing anything about immigration for the past 25 years has always been the same thing: comprehensive immigration reform. Fuck that. It's poison to fixing any of the issues. The Southwest border security is one issue. What to do with immigrants that are already landed is a separate issue. When you try and combine, and what to do with employers who hire them illegally, those things all handled in one bill that's going to be 2,500 pages long, that no single person who voted for it has even read a third of it, is going to end up being an ineffectual disaster, as it has been for the last 25 fucking years. Every time you try and handle them together, they all end up getting negotiated together. Handled separately, the waters are less muddy, the points are more clear, and the negotiations at least a little bit more above board.
Real quick, thank you, Cryptic. My niece and nephew are college educated but can't get here, yet these people get a free pass. I give up. Somebody said in chat, they said, who hates illegals? Legals. And that's true. At least that's been my experience. Nobody likes it when somebody cheats the system when you had to work it the right way.
Yeah, I've got friends and coworkers who either themselves or family members went through all the hoops, waited all the time, took all the tests, a whole 9 yards to get here legitimately. And, I have more respect for people that go through that much rigmarole through the process, actually following our laws. I mean, when I hear somebody say our immigration laws are broken, I'm like, yeah, by the people who ignore them. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. And so Cryptic, your family, I can't tell you. I mean, I didn't have to go through all that stuff, but I've seen people who had to. I've watched and been a part of, at least tangentially, trying to help coworkers and such get all their stuff together, or have to fight with the visa process and all that in order to come here and work or live, etc. Yeah, that's what angers me so much. If I didn't know people that went through it and actually put the effort in, I might have a completely different perspective on it. But I do, and they are pissed off about this as well. And so I can't help but just go along with it, because it's absolutely true.
We'll get to YouTube time here in just a moment, but I do want to address something that was said in chat. Prospero says, at Polydub, one topic per bill needs to be the law. Here's the problem with that. In theory, I agree with you. The problem is when you're negotiating with somebody that you don't agree with, and part of that negotiation is, okay, if we actually saw this with the, oh God, what was the bill? Just the tax cut bill. Part of the tax cut bill was Trump giving, quote, guarantees to the Democrats that DACA kids would be covered in some manner, that it would be addressed. Well, once the tax cut bill was passed, there's nothing requiring Trump to address DACA at all. So I agree in theory, but the problem is when you're trying to negotiate, you almost have to include the bills together, because if you don't, you can't trust the other guy to keep his word. Just saying.
I agree with the idea that multiple bills, multiple angles on the same issue are included for political expediency, because it allows for negotiations to take place. That's a political reality, and altogether not inherently a bad thing. But when the only thing binding issues together is a vague umbrella term such as immigration,
sure,
like from border security all the way to what are you going to do with a 9-year-old, to employers that are employing strawberry pickers or landscape workers, whatever. I mean, it's such a wide swath dealing with so many different departments in the federal government, so many varied interests that it becomes unworkable. Any bill described as an omnibus bill is rarely effectual in any way as intended by any of the parties. It ends up being committed to death.
Well, let's be real. Most of what comes out of there isn't effective anyway. It's government. Anyhow, that's just my thought. Anybody have any more to say on this before we move on?
Nope.
No.
Cool. YouTube time. And Polly, you're SDA tonight, so what'd you do?
Thanks. I have a new I got a new stream set up that's just going to get started. And the new version of OBS came out and it looks pretty sweet, so I'm looking forward to doing it. So I'm going to be starting my new streams Sunday night, actually.
Oh, cool. What time?
It will be, well, see, I haven't decided. Since you guys aren't streaming, I don't really have to worry about stepping on this stream and, of course, severely limiting my own audience by doing so. So probably 9 Eastern is what I'm thinking.
All right.
Yeah. And then I have another series, me and Inquisitor from the Minions are the Minions of the Zoo. We're getting together and we're going to do a comic book series where, yeah, 2 nerds, big longtime comic book fans, myself and Inquisitor, are going to pick a particular issue, and it's going to be not a live stream, but an edited video where we simply talk about the comics. I love diversity in comics, the channel. I love the roasting of Marvel, SJW Marvel, and the SJW things that DC is doing more and more. But you kind of like lose sight of the, why the hell we care? The comics are good and good stories are good. So they're going to be like comic reviews, that kind of thing. And we decided on the first one because Inquisitor is a huge X-Men fan. We're going to be doing the best-selling comic book in comic history, X-Men Volume 2, Number 1.
I have several of those.
Yeah, so do I.
I think I've got them all to make the whole
Eightfold.
panoramic thing. Yeah, the eightfold.
Yeah, and it's the final series, or the final, Number 1 and Number 2. We're doing them in tandem because it's the same story, super short story arc, right? Return of Magneto. It's awesome because Jim Lee is a favorite artist of both of us.
Jim Lee.
So good. His costume redesigns and imaginings for the X-Men is so influential. I mean, the 90s X-Men cartoon series is based largely off of his character designs and stuff. And then the last 2 issues that Chris Claremont wrote for a good long while. It wasn't dead last, but he basically went on to writing novels and doing other work at that point after he'd been writing for 25 years. Such a good writer. One of the things we noticed right off the bat was how incredibly talky it is compared to modern books.
Yeah,
so
the speech bubbles in that thing cover 3/4 of every page.
And it's rich character and story development, in my opinion, but we're going to hash that out in there. And then going on to Number 2, we're going to do a series review of America Chavez, all 12 issues, because it's been canceled.
Oh, God.
So we're going from awesome to trash. So
I got something to say about America Chavez, but I'll save it for another time.
Yeah, so that's the comic book series is what we're working on now, and then I'm starting my new streams up, and that's all happening over on my channel, and then Inquisitor and I will be sharing. We'll be double posting across both our channels. So that's what I'm up to.
Alrighty, Scribbles, you don't have ads tonight. That's rare on my stream. So
I know, right?
What do you have?
So I'm working on. I've chosen 2. Things I found today to work on. One I'm already got chopped up and scripted and the sound recorded for. I just have to assemble it.
I'm so sorry.
Bye, Lady Monkey.
I forget to mute myself when I say that. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's okay. It's Lady Monkey. I don't care. But it's a TEDx talk, if you can imagine that. I don't want to give too much away. I was telling Monkey a bit more of the details before the stream started, but I can honestly say, after listening to this and listening to this speaker's proposals, let's say, I have rarely been as cringed or as disturbed by an adult person suggesting things on any video I have done previously. And there are a couple where I got really creeped out, but this one in particular is really... Yeah, it's right there on the edge. So I should have that out tomorrow or at worst Saturday morning, depending on timing. And you can be the judge yourself. It'll probably end up being just under half an hour because I cover the whole shebang. As I was watching, I couldn't, at about the quarter way point, I thought because given his introduction to things, which was weird enough, at a certain point, he just goes off into La La Land. And I'm thinking, I have absolutely no idea where he's going with this. I have to watch the whole thing. And so I did. And it just, anyway. So all that preamble, I'll go for it.
Cryptic, thank you so much. A calm down super chat. School is like a boner, long and hard, unless you're Asian.
Wah, wah. The other video I found is a lecture that I'm not quite that deep into yet, except that, like I sort of alluded to at the beginning of the stream, the guy starts out by making sure everybody knows that they're standing on, ancient Indian tribe land or whatever. And then he spends about 5 or 6 minutes before actually getting to his presentation, giving all the disclaimers in the world of, I'm going to tell you all this stuff, and some of the things I'm going to show you might be very triggering. And I'll also understand that I socially locate myself as a white man, so take that into account when I'm telling you things, because even white people can say things that are beneficial from time to time. It's just, oh God, just go slit your wrists. Just go in a corner somewhere, seriously. But I don't know where he's going either, so we'll get there. But anyway, that's what I'm up to.
All right, and that brings us to me. I made a video today. There have been a couple of MSS news stories lately that have really pissed me off, and I have another one in the works. But last night we covered the NFL turning down a veterans. It's actually the American Veterans. It's a veterans group for a Super Bowl ad, and their ad, we don't know what all it said, but part of it was just the hashtag "Please Stand," and the NFL said, no, we're not going to accept that ad, which is fine. I literally have no problem with the NFL accepting or rejecting any ad they want to. I really don't. Their reasoning, and as I explained in my video, their reasoning was that they don't really do political ads. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what they said. I only covered 2 of them. There were actually 3 really ads last year. The 2 I covered deal with how mistreated women are. And in the one, the one that makes it, the Audi ad is not that bad. It's just, stupid.
It's a feel-good ad compared to the other one you used. Yeah, it's
the other one from Bianco, I think it is Bianco Shoes, which is somebody I'd never heard of before this ad. There's a woman on there who goes over, the pay gap, the pink tax, and then there's several felonies committed in this fucking commercial.
There really is.
I mean, at one point, a coffee cup is kicked into a man's face where it breaks upon his chin and coffee goes everywhere. Yeah, that is a violent felony that would have left him with a broken jaw and scalds on his face. But that's okay. That's an okay political message. Just don't hashtag please stand. So I got a little annoyed by that and inspired and kicked that video out this morning.
Not to mention felonious property assault or property damage over and over again. The woman jumping up and down on the guy's fancy car and then smashing the windows, and it's
no shit.
What's the line that she keeps repeating? Not equal
women
pay.
Need more.
Women need more. Yeah, that's a great line to take. Excellent tact.
Yeah, and for the record, that was a hashtag. Hashtag women need more. So hashtag please stand is bad. But hashtag women need more, that's perfect. The fuck? And why do women need more? I don't understand this. Like at the one point, she bitches about how women's underwear cost more. There's a really easy solution to that. Go buy some tidy whities.
I mean, I hate the saying first world problems. I really do, because it's annoying. It's like I live in the first world. Of course, my problems are first world problems. But when you start like women's underwear costs more, and didn't you know that shoes make the outfit? And
yeah,
I cringe to think that there's women watching this thinking, damn right. Like,
well, there's one of the things with the pink tax, and it's not included in that commercial, I don't believe, but women bitch because pink razors cost more.
Guys, I'll be right back in just a minute.
Sure. You can buy the guys' razors; they work the same. If you're worried that
flowery with like floral scents added to them.
Oh God, you know what? That's your problem. It's not my problem if you don't want to use what men use. You can, instead of using your fancy silk leg foam, go get the 98-cent stuff that men have been using for decades.
Oh, there's 98-cent female stuff. If you worked at Walmart, you know.
Oh, sure, there
like
is.
It's just you don't have to buy the designer stuff. Well, that was your oh, that's the right choice to do that.
Well,
there's Hanes for her. Don't give me this expensive fucking Victoria's Secret argument. You just don't want to wear Hanes for her. Anyway.
Well, no, what I was going to say is I worked in the health and beauty department. That was the first department I managed. So I know women's razors don't cost more. They don't. The most popular razors for men and women are pretty much the same price. And it's been that way for years. Now, if you want to go get something that has, you know, the foam that comes out of it or any other kind of girly shit, yeah, you're going to have to pay more. But the most popular ones, they're the same price. The Venus and the what's the male one? The
Bic?
Fuck. It's no God damn it, I forgot the name of it. Anyway, they're the same. They're the same price.
Okay.
Is it the razor? No, I forget. I forget what it's called. I don't know why. The Mach 3. That's what it is. The Mach 3 is the best-selling men's razor on the planet. It sold so well when they came out with a new one, the one with the 5 blades. It absolutely failed. It was so funny. They kept sending us the displays for the other one. I'm like, I can put that out, but it's not going to sell. Because it's way too expensive.
Winding Freedom and I are having fun talking about the XFL. You heard about that, right?
Oh yeah. I saw Vince McMahon's bringing it back.
Yeah, for 2020, and I'm like, all right, you know, Oprah and XFL 2020 is gonna be a hot year. And he said Oprah said no. Oprah said no. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's actually an article out there. I think it was Scribe who linked it on Twitter.
Okay,
that's Hammer. For fuck's sake, check your DMs. You didn't see it when I. Anyway,
but no,
there was an article out there that says or how to read Oprah's denial of running for president.
Oh, right. Let me.
That was you, right? Who linked it?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me find that real quick.
I was asking about this because I was unaware that she said no. We're joking about XFL and Oprah in 2020.
Oh God, it's absolutely the headline is what really, just drove me nuts this morning. Let me find it real quick. It's. Oh, we didn't we didn't do MSS News, by the way.
Yeah, no, we were too busy talking about
yeah,
immigration. Sorry about that, guys. We'll catch up on that. I do apologize.
Where did it go? I sent it. Okay, now I'm back into yesterday, so that doesn't make any sense. I sent it earlier today.
Did you go to your profile?
Yeah, my profile. Let me refresh it real quick.
I don't know what you do with your Twitter. Your Twitter doesn't seem to work.
All right, there it is. Yeah, the Washington Post said, what you need to know about Oprah's latest denial that she's running for president. And I'm like, need? Well, I need to know that she said no. Again, latest denial, which means she's done it more than once. Just give it up. Fuck.
They'll push her into office, damn it. Great leadership is thrust upon them.
Well, she said she doesn't have the DNA for it. And I'm like, wait, are you a race realist? What?
Oh my God, that's cold.
The YouTube drama I have is really just, there were some live streams. The short one, go watch Roosh V. Laura Loomer was on there. Faith Goldie eventually jumped in. Who else was on there? Nick Fuentes. Really? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was actually kind of a funny stream. Andy Worski and Theron Meyer are fighting, and Andy challenged her to a what was it? It was the Thunderdome. Enter the Thunderdome. And Theron's like, fuck you. So they may or may not have a debate soon. How about instead of deep topic time tonight, since we end up a lot of times just having dead air. How about we do some MSS news since we missed it?
Sure.
Have we moved on already from, oh God, Hammer's here. Fuck. I got other things to do.
Yes, I invited One Ton Hammer. How you doing, Hammer?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing
very well. It's been a while since we had you on, and you and Polly work so well together, and me and Scribe work so well together. I thought we should mash the four of us up.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Have we moved completely on from YouTube drama, or does that come after MSS News?
No. Do you have some drama?
Just a real quick one. I was a big fan of Naked Ape before he went away to go work because he got a bigger full-time job and decided to step away. And he did his podcast, The Western Front, with Kraut before Kraut's problems.
Yeah.
Self-created problems, but problems nonetheless. And everybody's kind of like wondering, where's Naked Ape at? He had really great material. He's a really interesting guy with an unlikely set of characteristics about himself, which made him all the more interesting. Then he comes back for a couple of streams. He was on the Kumite a couple times, whatever, and it was great to hear him up there. Then all of a sudden today, early this morning, he drops a new Western Front video, podcast, and a brand new video, his first one in months and months. And 15 minutes after his new video was posted, taken down for hate speech.
No.
I love the video because I was like, holy shit, new Naked Ape. And so I watched it right away. I should have downloaded it because I would have mirrored it in a cold second. I would have created new channels to mirror it. He was blasting with both barrels in every direction. Holy shit. The title of the video was Atheism is Destroying the Western World. And
oh, wow.
He's an atheist.
Yeah.
Levels the double barrels at everybody he can think of. He goes after Doc's Holiday. He goes after Sargon. He goes after, of course, the Amazing Atheist, and just the arrogance of the new atheism and the vacuousness that can result in taking on a strict materialist point of view. And I'm biased because, of course, I love trolling atheists on Twitter. I have 2 sock accounts just for it. So I had a blast watching, but 15 minutes before it was flagged for hate speech. And it's like, what particularly? Yeah, he was angry, but what group did he... Are atheists a protected minority? I don't understand.
Well, I saw your tweet, and I went to watch it, and it was already down. I was like, huh. So, yeah I hope somebody does mirror it because it would be interesting. Oh, Jack Cochran just shot us a mirror in the chat.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I better download it.
Yeah, absolutely worth checking out. It's Naked Ape is back with a fucking fury, man.
Alrighty, cool. Anybody else?
I came in a little late. We're talking drama?
Well, we were doing just drama, and then we're doing MSS news out of order tonight. So we're gonna do that next.
A format change. Okay, I'll go with that.
Well, Polly wouldn't shut the hell up about immigrants and how much he hates Mexicans.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, we do have some really important news for people mine and Monkey's age. This comes from Shiagorath. Greatest American Hero female-led reboot lands pilot order at ABC.
When are they going to realize that just making shows just with women in it is the wrong way to go?
Well, see, I have some thoughts on this, but we'll get there in a second. I'll just read the first paragraph or so. ABC has given a pilot order to a female-led reboot of The Greatest American Hero. The single-camera comedy, inspired by the 1980s TV show of the same name, centers on Mira, a 30-year-old woman who loves tequila and karaoke and has spent her life searching and failing to find meaning, much to the chagrin of her traditional Indian-American family. An inexplicable event occurs that will change the course of Mira's life forever when she is entrusted with a supersuit to protect the planet. Okay, this sounds dumb, but I think Monkey and I have discussed this before, because at the end of the original series, a woman ended up with the supersuit.
Yep.
So I know this isn't what they're going to do, but this is what I think they should do as far as the plot line if they're going to make it a sequel. I don't know if they are making it a sequel. I don't know if it's standalone, but they should make it a sequel. And here's how it should work. It should be this woman here has no memory, knowledge, or has some reduced memory of her mother. Her mother was not part of her life. And then this package shows up from her mother who's passed away somewhere. and it's got the super suit in there. And what happens is that as she learns to use the suit, reading her mother's diary, because she was the woman who got it at the end of the last series, passing it on. Not only do we learn about the adventures of the previous greatest American hero from the end of the first series, but we also have her learn into her powers through her mother's memories, kind of thing. It would be a really, really good way to do it if they were going to do it that way, which, of course, they won't. So that was just my idea.
I just hate the idea that female is so played up in things. If you're going to make a show or a movie, just fucking do it. And if there's women in it, let there be women in it. Don't make that a fucking selling point.
Do you think that is part of the basis behind the reboot of Murphy Brown?
Oh, sure. Why not?
Like, Candice Bergen's a great actress. Don't get me wrong. I loved her in like the 70s Westerns because I'm a big Western fan. But it's like that show's going to be pure cancer, man. It's going to be like the super strong female lead. It's what a news agency working out of Washington, D.C. It's going to be endless Trump barbs every single fucking episode.
Sure.
It's so transparent. I don't know.
It could be, but the original show is a strong woman. So it's not, it's just,
that is true.
Exactly the same thing as opposed to let's change the format from being guy-centric to being girl-centric, which is the wrong way to go.
Yeah, it's not a Latino version of Party of Five, for example.
Oh, God.
The original Murphy Brown, I mean, this was during the first Bush administration, and they took shots at him, but they still told stories that didn't have anything actually to do with politics, and I hope that's the way they go with it. I really do.
Yeah.
So do I, but I'm so cynical now. I mean, Hollywood, they have no ideas. Like TV land, no ideas. It's just, let's reboot everything. It's depressing.
You know what I'm wondering about, honestly, because the character of Frank on that show was a womanizer.
Oh, that's over with. He's like 70 now. He can't even now.
Do you think
which guy was Frank?
They're gonna put a cuck in there.
Now, what I want to see them bring back is Night Court. John Larroquette. That would make me happy as fuck.
Yeah, Brent Spiner do a cameo.
Yeah, Brent Spiner show up as the Wheeler family. Yeah, exactly. You know, we bring back all the old characters. It'd be great. And Dan Fielding can get away with it because he was always that way.
No, they would have to do an episode where he comes out and apologizes for his behavior.
Oh, Lord. It's like, you're a rapist. Okay, well, anyway, so how would you guys like a second ranting monkey?
What the fuck? No.
Well, Ellie the enthusiastic elephant sends us this, which I saw the other day, but I didn't get a chance to read. Monkeys cloned in world first, scientists reveal. Whole labs full of genetically identical macaques can now be created, prompting fears about the ramifications of humans being replicated. 2 monkeys are the first primates to be cloned using the technique that created Dolly the sheep. The technique brings the prospect of cloned human beings even closer, but scientists caution that there may be no good reason to create such clones and that ethical and legal questions need to be answered about such research. More immediately, the technique will allow researchers to create whole labs full of genetically identical monkeys. That could prove tremendously useful in scientific and medical research, allowing doctors to watch how specific treatments affect the genetic makeup of animals that are otherwise exactly the same, for instance. The 2 identical long-tailed macaques named Zhang Zhang and Hua Hua were born 8 and 6 weeks ago at a laboratory in China. They represent the furthest reaches of cloning technology, genetically resembling each other entirely. They aren't strictly the first primates to have been cloned, but they are the first to have been produced using the single-cell nuclear transfer technique, which involves transferring cell nucleus DNA to a donated egg cell that is then prompted to develop into an embryo, and is the same process used for Dolly the sheep. So there you go.
I think that is quite sufficient.
Should we do the CNN cuckold thing?
Wait, no.
Oh.
Wait, no, my God.
No.
Not going to let that go by. Go on.
We can't. I saw something that startled me, and I apologize for that. Guys, hit the like button. Why are y'all being mean? We got 2 great guests. We got Scribe, who's awesome. I bring the show down a little bit, but come on. We deserve more than 76.
Okay. So
go ahead with the story.
Okay. I thought you were like, wait, no, you had something to say about clone monkeys, but
no, what happened? I was on these, I had the screen up in the background. I take the stream screen and make it the size of the video window so it doesn't screw up my screen. Well, I had switched over to download that video from Naked 8, and that was on the screen, and it showed like 40 likes, and I'm like, well, that's just fucking mean. Anyway, I'm sorry. I got my feelings hurt a little bit. I got up in my feelings. I apologize.
All right, so Snubbert sent us this one, but it's I think a couple of the people did too. This is the headline from CNN today. Cuckolding can be positive for some couples, study says.
This made me throw up when I saw it.
This is amazing. In our current political climate, the term cuck, short for cuckservative, actually, that's not what it's short for, has become an insult of the so-called alt-right aimed at men they view as spineless and emasculated. The slur has its roots in the concept of cuckolding or having an adulterous partner. It's not really an adulterous partner.
This is
where,
it's like 5 kinds of wrong, and you're only 3 sentences.
I know. They don't know what the fuck they're talking. Who wrote this? This was written by Ian Kerner, whoever that is. Okay, Ian.
Thank you, Flair Fritz. Having both Polly and Hammer typically inclines me more to hit the dislike button, but I'll humor you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh, okay. But according to a recent study by David Lay, Justin Lemiller, and the writer Dan Savage, acting on cuckolding fantasies can be a largely positive experience for many couples and hardly a sign of weakness. References I know. No, this is amazing.
So it can be a positive experience to watch your lady get banged by somebody?
Well, I can't wait to hear the rationale.
Okay.
References to cuckolding appear in literature as early as the 13th century, usually in the form of male characters who fear that their child has been sired by another man during an act of infidelity. Today, however, cuckolding has become fetishized into a powerful sexual fantasy for some men who get aroused by the idea of their romantic partner engaging in sexual activity with someone else. Women also share this fantasy, but less so than men. Quote, this fantasy has been around as long as marriage and sexuality, said Lay, whose book Insatiable Wives addresses cuckolding in heterosexual couples. Quote, but we're hearing more and more about it these days, and more people are rejecting the social stigma against this fantasy. More is a relative term, isn't it?
What?
Hold on. We're not there yet. Indeed,
are these the same 4 people that...
Yes, they're the same 4 people that told us about the Mueller investigation.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all fucking each other. Actually, 3 of them are fucking each other, and 1 person sitting in the corner tied to a chair jerking off. Indeed,
somebody's been to Pornhub.
Indeed, the numbers suggest that cuckolding, or at least thinking about it, is more common than you might imagine. Oh, I can imagine quite a bit. For his forthcoming book, Tell Me What You Want, The Science of Sexual Desire and How It Can Help Improve Your Sex Life, Jesus, Lemiller surveyed thousands of Americans and found that 58% of men and about a third of women had fantasized about cuckolding. I want to know your survey size, dude. 58% of American men fantasize about watching their wives get railed by another man.
The question is probably, did you ever actively consider that your wife might have slept with another man and they take that as a fantasy of cuckolding?
Well, it's not even that. I can understand that, because there's a difference between fantasy and wanting to actually do it.
Sure, I guess.
I mean, there are women who have rape fantasies. It doesn't mean they actually want to be raped.
All right. Oh, and the next paragraph kind of backs that up. Quote, men are more likely to fantasize about cuckolding, and they do it more often. But there are a number of women who have these fantasies as well, which points to the need for more research focused on women's cuckolding desires, says Lemiller said. Yeah. Initially viewed as a heterosexual phenomenon, it's increasingly prevalent among gay men too. Quote, I'd long gotten letters from straight couples into cuckolding, usually initiated by the husband, but none from gay couples until after marriage equality began to gather steam, explained writer and activist Dan Savage. To learn more, Savage joined with Lemiller and Lay for a study of cuckolding fantasies and experiences in 580 gay men. Their findings suggest that there are similarities between the way gay and straight men view cuckolding, but clear differences too. Most notably, interracial and BDSM themes don't appear to be as common in gay men's cuckolding fantasies as they are among heterosexual men. The motivations behind these fantasies may also be different. Yeah, you think?
Real quick, nope, thank you. More like 58% of men want to fuck another man's wife. I doubt the reverse.
Yeah.
If you guys don't think there's guys who think about this, go look at Pornhub and just search the word cuckold.
Oh, and here's their, I skipped down, but here's their advice at the end. For couples who do decide to move forward, it's important to take things slow. Quote, the reality of watching your spouse have sex with someone else, or knowing that they're doing it if you're not there, is often very different than the fantasy. It can dredge up powerful emotions, so take baby steps and keep talking and communicating, said Savage. That said, the rewards can be amazing, according to couples who have successfully folded cuckold play into their relationships. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, that's where they lose me. I can kind of see it would be beneficial for her.
Yeah.
But, okay, getting emasculated, I don't see how that is rewarding at all.
Okay, look at CNN. My God. What? And this Savage guy, it's like he's fucking figured out a way to explore his own kink and turn it into a profession.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sanguine. So am I the only person thinking this is just the author desperately trying to make cuckolding normal? That way he isn't the only one in the corner cranking it. No, I actually had that thought. I'm like, this dude, it's very similar to this. I've read almost this exact same article about swinging.
Yeah.
It helps people, but be careful when you do it because it often destroys relationships.
Ooh, you guys want some corruption of a child star?
In a second.
Okay. Sorry, you're still stuck on cuckolding.
I'm not done with cuck boy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, neither are a lot of men apparently.
This is something very important that for you youngins out there.
Oh, Jesus.
When you're having sex, there's part of your blood not getting to your brain, and it makes us think there's a lot of things we might want to do. So you can talk very dirty during sex.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you have to do that stuff or that stuff is actually even going to be fun. Just you have to learn to separate fantasy from reality. Yeah, there are things you can try, and I'm not judging you for trying them, unless you write an article about how it's okay. But there is a very big difference between fantasy and reality. Just keep that in mind. That's all.
Okay. Well, this one comes from the Hate Camel. Disney star Adam Hicks arrested for a string of armed robberies.
Oh.
Adam Hicks? Well, this is the thing I don't know, but Adam Hicks, the former star of Disney's Zeke and Luther, which I'd never heard of before, was arrested on Wednesday on suspicion of a string of armed robberies. According to the Burbank Police Department, Hicks, now 25, was accused of robbing several people on the street on Wednesday morning. He was arrested about 2 p.m. and is being held in jail on $350,000 bail. Hicks starred as Luther in the Disney XD show from 2009 to 2012. He also appeared in Hulu's Freakish and the 2015 film The Boy Next Door. Let's see. According to TMZ, which first reported on the arrest, Hicks and his girlfriend went up to several people and put a gun in their face, demanding money. Two of the victims were women in their 70s, TMZ reported. Burbank police identified the second suspect as Danny Tamburo, 23 of Burbank. According to police, the first robbery was reported at 5:15 a.m., blah, 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 blah. Okay, so there you go. Yay, Disney's kid.
Wow, Disney don't pay out fucking royalties and dividends, apparently.
No kidding.
Sure they do. It's just his parents are getting it all.
Sticking guns in 70-year-old ladies' faces. Shit.
How dumb do you have to be if you've been on television to do that?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I can get, maybe the old ladies won't recognize me, but come on.
Yeah. We have an evil Florida man story Jack Cochran has sent us.
Ooh, let's do that.
I mean, really, if this headline is just the tip of the iceberg, holy shit.
Trigger warning, guys.
Yeah, trigger warning. This comes from Jack the motherfucking Cochran. Florida man accused of beating toddler and putting her in an oven.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Authorities
Was
in the
she Jewish?
Authorities in the Sunshine State are looking for a man accused of beating his ex-girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter with a belt and then putting the girl inside a heated oven.
Oh, fuck him.
The Volusia County The Volusia County Sheriff's Office said in a news release Wednesday they issued an arrest warrant for the suspect, 45-year-old Terry May, in connection with the incident last Thursday. Quote, "It just boggles my mind you would torment and beat and place a kid in an oven, and yet you walk around on 2 feet," Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood said at a news conference. "Animals don't treat their kids the way this guy treated this little girl."
See, sorry, these kind of stories, if I met this man in person, I can't listen to these stories. I'm not telling you to stop reading it. You can do it.
Yeah.
There's a rage in me right now that if I saw this man, I would literally kill him with my bare hands. You don't
and there's a picture,
fucking hurt kids.
There's a picture of some of the burns on this kid. Oh, God.
Nah, fuck that guy.
Chitwood said May had been watching his ex-girlfriend's toddler, and when the mom saw the girl's injuries, she called the deputies last week. Police said the girl told deputies May frequently hit her with a belt. The 3-year-old had an apparent burn injury on her ear and told an investigator May put her inside the oven, according to the sheriff's office. Quote, "She has been burned on her right ear, burns and lacerations on her feet, a 3-inch scar down her back. It was quite obvious this little girl had been physically abused." Yeah, fuck this guy.
The movie Watchmen, where the guy with the face, what's the name of the guy with the face that keeps changing as a white?
Rorschach?
Rorschach, where he catches that guy who killed the little girl with the dogs.
Yep.
And he kills him because he doesn't consider him a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what should happen here. This guy's not human. Don't give him the rights of a human being. Just put him out of his misery.
Yeah. Good luck in prison, asshole. How about we call it there and turn it over to chat?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, chat, this is your time. Questions, comments, concerns, anything you think we should talk about, anything we missed, throw it into chat now.
Tell us about your cuckolding fantasies.
No, don't do that. No, that's just...
Have any of you made your relationship better by watching your wife get fucked?
Yeah.
And post that shit on Pornhub. It does very well.
It's a question not asked very often. Well done. You figured out an original arrangement of words.
I go there looking for regular old porn, and it's always some fat white guy watching his wife get banged by a black dude.
What the fuck search terms are you entering?
First show up.
They just show up. It wasn't my fault. Like, yeah, right.
Is that me roboting or is that
I had this discussion before I got married. I said to my potential wife, if you get in the position where you feel like you want to cheat or you have the opportunity to cheat, let me know first so I can divorce you.
Fair, yeah. Flair Fritz, thank you. Ask Polly about the heterosexuality of cranberries. Also, thank you, Flair, and if they're fruit or not. Are cranberries fruit?
Cranberries are not a fruit. At least I don't think so. It's a running piece of stream lore. Fat Platypus's girlfriend, Far from Farzusmi from Australia.
She's the one who made my logo, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. She's a great artist. She put together a video to roast me, good natured, and it's hilarious. It is
hilarious.
Yeah, it's a little otter, a little stuffed otter, because I use an otter as my avatar on Discord, and she took a whole bunch of quotes from me in various streams, completely out of context. So the video starts with an otter staring out a window, wondering, cranberries ain't gay. They're not even fruit. At least I don't think they are. So it's become a
nice. I'm fairly certain they are a fruit, aren't they? They're not a good fruit, but
do they have seeds inside them?
Depends on if you get them drunk or not.
Because I mean, technically, a tomato's a fruit, technically, because it has seeds inside. A strawberry isn't technically a berry because it has seeds on the outside, that kind of thing. So,
actually, a strawberry is those aren't seeds on the outside. That's the actual fruit, the achenes. Nerdy.
And y'all give me shit about cereal and soup. I don't want to hear it. Have we had a question yet?
Who's Abby or Brittany?
I don't know. I keep hearing about them.
Chat, I got asked Abby or Brittany. I don't know who either of those people
are. Abby and Brittany? Tell me about them. Aren't they the Siamese twins? Are we allowed to call them Siamese twins anymore? Is that racist?
Probably. Conjoined twins is the more
yes, conjoined.
Yes, conjoined twins.
Favorite surreal film?
Slipstream with Anthony Hopkins. If you can find a copy of it.
Oh,
I don't know.
Natural Born Killers, most expensive student film ever made.
Oh God. Still really fun to watch though.
It is, but it's experimental as fuck. Like
yeah, Tom Sizemore is really, that's the movie I love the most. But man, that guy has gone so downhill in his real life. Oh, it's terrible.
But can't you see the shades of what was to come in his various performances? Like
True Romance and Natural Born Killers. He's so good, and he just got fucked over. I mean, he was in Saving Private Ryan.
Him is like the self-promoting detective. His book was Scagnetti on Scagnetti.
Scagnetti on Scagnetti. Oh, it's so good. So good.
And Robert Downey Jr., one of his finest performances as Wayne Gale with the Australian accent and everything. That
it was so great.
Out there. Yeah. Great one.
Mickey and Mallory. Exactly.
Having Brittany share a vagina.
Oh my God. What?
Boobs. Oh, the only thing that they have separate is their heads.
Oh, I remember I know who they're talking about. I've seen like a Discovery Channel special on them or something.
Jesus, can you imagine trying to have to talk two women into letting you have their vagina at the same time?
Yeah, they've got one body and two they share everything, like one torso, one set of legs, one set of arms, two heads on top of one torso.
Does that count as a threesome?
Yes. There's three brains involved in that case, so yes.
But only two genitals.
Well, they're two separate individuals, so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they're one person and they should be in the circus.
Here, I'll put. Do links work in the chat again, or are they still?
They seem to. They seem to.
I tried to post a picture of Florida Man, the movie poster that you guys had. I tried to post it, wouldn't come up.
I just posted the link, so if you don't see it, then I guess it's not working.
Everybody I've posted that poster to wants the movie to be made. They want to see a Florida Man movie.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I think that'd be great.
I'd be like Hobo with a Shotgun come to life, right?
Well, I mean, I honestly think it should be like an anthology Netflix series. I think Florida Man's just is better suited for a chain of stories in a set little universe than it is like a single film.
I'm sorry, this whole Abby and Brittany thing is just blowing my mind. I have so many questions.
Okay, well here I take it the link I sent did not appear.
I see it there.
Okay, well if it works, it doesn't. I'll tweet it to you anyway, just if you're curious. There you go.
Yes, it came up. Is this what you meant to send me?
Misha Barton favorite Matthew Williamson to design H&M line. That's what I got.
That is not the link that I copied. What the fuck?
That's the link that came up in chat.
What?
I got the one on Twitter, so we're good.
That is so weird.
The fuck are you reading over there while we're doing a stream?
No, I just copied the link that was for that story with the twins. What the hell?
Okay, so
I don't know. That was weird.
I just want, like, if one of them decides to masturbate, is it technically incest?
Jesus.
And what happens? What happens if one of them's into it and the other one's not? Or is it rape?
You want a picture of them in a bikini?
I saw that picture.
Yeah. Okay.
They have a pretty nice body for some freaks.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all.
I haven't seen the picture.
Wow, that was like a quasi modern pronoun. They have a nice bikini body.
I know, right?
But
they do.
But in this case, actually plural. Well done.
It's weird. The one on the right looks like her head is kind of sunken in.
A little bit, yes. I think she's probably the Danny DeVito of the two.
Oh.
Yes. Twins reference. Nice.
Yay! I'm good. Or bad.
I can't imagine sharing genitals with somebody. That is fucking me up.
Wait, you got Lady Monkey.
Yeah, but I get it. I get to make the decisions.
Oh, okay.
One of them has control over whether or not their vag is used.
Yep.
Can you imagine if another person got to decide if your penis was being used? And not like, yeah, you can fuck me, but like, no, we're not going to fuck her today. It would be like having multiple personalities, but there's actually another person there.
Personally, I guess they must discuss it ahead of time.
And what happens if one do they like, okay, I don't want to fuck that guy, but I'm going to put in headphones and cover my eyes. It's still their genitals being used, so they're going to still feel it.
I guess if either says no, then it's a no.
There you go.
Do you think there's ever a time one of them has to pee and the other one doesn't?
No.
No. They have one bladder, I think.
But I assume they both feel the call of nature, which is interesting.
Let's go take a poop.
But people have, different reactions to it, Some people can hold their bladder longer than others, and it doesn't necessarily mean they have a bigger bladder. Maybe the urge isn't strong.
They probably both feel the same urge because it's generated by the same body.
But it goes into a different brain, so it's interpreted different.
Not necessarily. It could be interpreted exactly the same.
It could be. That's why I was asking. Cryptic says they each control a side and they have to agree. Yeah, but the vag is right in the middle. I mean, it might be slightly off center because those heads are kind of freaky, but I'm fascinated by this.
Because their heads are not perfectly aligned, their vag may also not be perfectly aligned.
Maybe it's kind of tilted like the one chick's head.
I think Monkey might have found his alternative to midgets.
Oh, I would bang this just to try it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Do they both orgasm at the same time?
That's another question because these signals are interpreted different by different brains. That's so weird, man. Do you think one of them controls one nipple and the other controls the other?
Oh God!
They do control sides of their body. One controls one leg, the other controls the other leg.
So, are you saying that if they got pregnant somehow and they were lactating, that they could have like a little demonstration fountain, like one going off?
Yes.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Yeah.
Do they have two different boyfriends?
I don't know.
Maybe they have a boyfriend who's like born with one head but two bodies.
What if one of them like really loves anal sex and the other one doesn't?
Oh boy.
Too bad.
Who gets, I mean, do you think they've ever gotten a fight and hit each other?
When they were little kids, probably.
Fuck you. I'm sorry. I've never seen science twins. The only difference is that they have different heads.
Chat time has been taken over by conjoined twins.
I'm so sorry, guys. This is just, oh my God. Yeah. That's a great question, Element. If they got pregnant, whose baby would it be? Who's the mom? Is it the one who decided to take the sperm? I'm sorry, guys. Did I miss any questions here? Could one brain block the other from achieving orgasm? No, they have separate brains. So, I mean, I suppose it'd be a way to fuck with the other one if they did orgasm at the same time. Be like, no, just kidding. That's freaky. That is so weird. I'm sorry, guys. If there's questions,
Monkey's obsessed. Monkey is obsessed. He's a man possessed.
This is fascinating.
If one girl is having sex with her boyfriend, is the other girl technically cheating if she has a boyfriend?
Yes.
Monkey, you should tweet them and see if they'll come on the show.
Oh, that would be awesome. I don't think they would like my questions though.
No. Probably not, but you know, you can
most of them are sexual.
Yeah, obviously. Oh, imagine being cucked like that.
Oh my God. Do you think they ever get bothered?
One of them's really into cuckolding, and so she likes watching her sister get
Jesus.
I signed a contract.
Oh God.
Thank you, Cryptic. Stop, you'll create a space-time paradox. I just don't get, I mean, man.
Monkeys.
I can't imagine sharing a body with somebody like this. I mean, conjoined twins, you can attached at the butt or whatever. You still have your own body. This is fucking weird. Man, okay. What do you think their parents thought when that popped out?
My God.
They probably knew about it through they probably knew something was up. I would assume they did some scans ahead of time to know that something was wrong.
Can you imagine the poor doctor who had to go, well, you have one baby, but two heads. Oh yes, good one, Jack Cochran. What if Scott Bakula leaps into one of them? Yeah, Ruthven, that's what I was wondering. If one wants to masturbate and the other doesn't, is it sexual assault? Oh, that's another good one. Shiograph. Do they both have to pass a driver's test? And
yeah,
how do they?
So the twins both successfully passed their driver's license exams, both the written and driving tests. They had to take the tests twice, once for each of them. Abby controls the devices on the right of the driver's seat. Brittany those on the left. Together they control the steering wheel.
What happens if there's a different result? What do you do then? One can drive and the other one can't.
Yeah, no shit. Stop. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry, guys. I did not mean to get sidetracked.
Abby is better at mathematics, while Brittany is better at writing.
Well, left brain, right brain.
There you go.
Literally.
That is so
brain on the
weird.
left.
Let's see.
I kind of want to fuck them. I'm not kidding. Inedible trout. Thank you. Did you know the first French fries weren't actually cooked in France? They were cooked in Greece.
Wow.
Well played. Thank you. Sanguine. What if one dies of a stroke? Ooh, good question.
Well, they were rubbing too hard then.
You just have this dead head next to you for the rest of your life.
Scott McGinnis is asking you, Scribe, why was Naked Ape's video on atheism flagged? That's a mystery Scribe found out in the last 15 minutes.
I don't know. I didn't even
Damn it,
know.
Scribe, what'd you do?
I didn't know Naked Ape was back, first and foremost. I think I stopped following him when he left because I didn't think he was coming back. So I had no idea that he'd come back at all.
Yeah, it was flagged for hate speech, Scott. That's all that we know, and that's all that it says.
Yeah.
And that's if you guys don't mind, if you're not opposed, I would like to shill something I forgot to shill earlier.
Shill away, my friend.
Monkey, you know Lucky Pop-Tart, Poppy.
I do. I love Poppy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she has a rather serious eye condition, and she's not happy about appealing for help through GoFundMe, but we're all really supportive of her. She's one of the minions, and she's really well liked by all of us. She's a great person, and she does have a GoFundMe. She needs eye surgery, and her GoFundMe explains the details of it better than I could here. So if anybody's feeling generous, if they, by all means, not forcing it upon anybody, but yeah, you should go check out her GoFundMe, and I'd like to post the link in chat if that's all right.
Please do.
Okay. Because she's awesome. She could absolutely use the help, and this page right here does a very good job of explaining all of the stuff that she's up against, which is surmounting and getting worse as time goes on. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're so inclined.
Do we have any? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sure you guys have asked questions, and I've just completely missed them as I was freaking out about Two Head Girl. If you have questions, please ask again. You guys talk. I'm updating this with Poppy's.
GoFundMe. Okay. I was about to bust your balls. You were looking for two-headed porn on Pornhub or something.
No.
I'm gonna send Monkey the video of the two of them on spring break.
Oh, please do. I want to see this. So one of them controls one half of the body and one controls the other?
Yeah.
Correct.
So technically, one could play with their nipple and the other one wouldn't know it?
I think they can feel it. They just don't have the control.
Oh, that's even worse.
Or better.
You guys are big fans of MST3K, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Riff Tracks has an old B film that they did, The Man with Two Heads. I just watched it a week ago. It is so worth watching because the humor's great, as it always is from the Riffers, but it's so obviously just two guys standing in front and back of each other wearing one extra large sweater the entire film.
Yeah.
That's how low budget it is. For a minute believe it's a two-headed man, but my God, if you're ever bored on a Friday night and need a really bad film, check that out. The Incredible Two-Headed Man. And it ain't sexy, Monkey. Don't go looking for that.
I'm sexy enough. I don't have to go looking. I'm gay for myself. I'm okay with it. I'd do me.
If Abby's boyfriend makes Brittany climax, would that be cheating? Thanks, Jack.
Can you imagine the porn career these girls can have?
Oh my God.
twin
shit is like really popular.
Ew, what, in Germany?
No.
There is a disturbing array of stuff on twin girls making out and so on. It's, I don't want to see incest. That's not sexy.
What if one of them murders someone?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
How do you send two people to jail?
Element brought that one up.
It's like a murder, because the other one would kind of like be like a necessary co-conspirator of sorts. But what if one of them was like committing like wire fraud without the knowledge of the other?
Wire fraud.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I did it while you were asleep. Oh no.
Well, that's an interesting question. What happens when one of them falls asleep? The other one can't move?
They're stuck there. What if they have to pee then? Me, my hammer's my hammer.
Slap them.
Wake the other one up.
Yeah.
Then
Wake
Jack's
up,
like,
bitch.
Jack Cochran's, do you think they badmouth each other in their journals? That bitch.
What if you didn't get along with your twin?
Yeah, no shit.
I guess you don't really have a choice, but yeah.
Well, they always say if you met a clone of yourself, like a precise clone, mental faculties and memories and all, you would hate that person because they would reflect who you are. But
I've said that forever.
Sorry.
I would hate me. I would kick my ass.
I one time, this was several years ago, on a dating site, I found a 99% match. This thing told me a 99% match, and so I went out. I contacted her and I went out on a date, and yeah, it was like having lunch with myself. It was the most creepy and boring experience I'd ever had. I was like, "There's no mystery." It was really, really creepy because it was like we'd bring up something like, "Oh, I've always, I don't drive, but I was thinking about maybe one day and before I even finished, it's like, I was thinking of getting a motorcycle myself." Like, oh. And we had nothing to talk about because it was like, okay, bye. Yeah, I don't want to date me.
Thank you, Terry Diamandis. I wonder how sharing a stomach would work. Would they each eat half as much? Could one possibly go their entire life without ever eating anything? Well, yeah, they wouldn't be hungry, I would imagine.
Well, that'd be cool.
One does all the eating for them.
They only have one stomach. It's going to keep the body alive, so it really doesn't matter who eats.
Scribe's story reminded me of that old Seinfeld episode, one of the late seasons, where Jerry met the female version of himself, played by Jean Garofalo.
Yeah.
And it was there wasn't much of her Jean Garofalo and Jerry Seinfeld scenes in that episode. It was like the B story, but it was so funny. I mean,
real quick, apparently they have two stomachs. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh,
do they have just one asshole though? Right?
Oh my god!
Two stomachs, but only one.
Do you mean digestively, or are you being like a pervert again?
No, I know the pervert part's still there. Don't get me wrong. I wonder about butt fucking him. But my question is, I mean, does like the one on the left get pissed off if the one on the right stop eating, bitch? I don't want to shit again. I mean, it's got to be something that happens. Or do they have like two buttholes down there, just a really small butt cheeks? I'm so curious. One lower intestine and colon. XGC Scrappy, you know a lot about them. Do you know them? Can you hook me up? 2 hearts, 3 kidneys.
Really?
Wow.
That's what I'm told.
Huh.
But I am right on the one vagina thing, right? Liz Reptile's the only woman with 2 assholes. That's not nice. I happily have not seen that picture. No, Scribe, the story you told me and Lady Monkey had a long running argument because she's very romantic. She has this idea, that we are just meant to be, which we're not. We are so not meant to be. We are together despite the differences.
Wait. But Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat taught me that opposites attract.
It's true, they attract, but they don't necessarily go together. That leads to some friction.
All right.
But they have we signed up for was it eHarmony? One of those ones that does the dating match. And I told him like we're not going to be matched up. And she's like, sure we are. So we signed up and of course we weren't. And I got a match from this woman who really thinks she's funny. Now I think I'm funny and I am. But I read her profile and she was the most annoying cunt I've ever not met. I'm like, yeah, no. I closed the account after reading that because I don't want to know what a random survey thinks of me, because it's not very flattering. How drunk can they get? That's a good question too. If their circulatory system is shared, if one of them drinks, I imagine it would go through both.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think they would. Okay, I took that question to mean, would they need to drink twice as much? I'm like, no, same blood alcohol level. One would figure that.
Yeah, but how many livers do they have? They have one liver or two.
Oh, yeah.
Livers are going to be twice as effective.
Does it work off twice as fast? Good point.
They could drink forever.
Oh, my God. If camera really does add 10 pounds, do African kids even exist? Fuck. Oh, Shiogara, you are awesome with your jokes. Let's see. Polydub didn't hear what your GoFundMe was about. That's the Lucky Pop-Tart. The link is in the description now if you want to just go read the GoFundMe.
Yeah, it does a very good job of describing the details, and you can see what it is. Definitely a worthy GoFundMe, not a take off with your cash in the middle of the night style GoFundMe at all.
Scott, it's not that we don't know anything about Mount Rainier. It's just Mount Rainier doesn't have anything to do with two women with one vagina. He wants to know if any of us have been to Mount Rainier.
I have not.
No.
No.
Don't even.
Big Father asked, the twins are a midget. See, I'm not like Monkey with midgets. Now, I like extremely short girls, so I guess you could say I like tall midgets. But twins, no, that's gross. Big Father asked, twins are a midget, and I said I'm not really into midgets.
Oh,
I would bang a midget like Jimmy Carter building housing for the poor. It would just be awesome.
Well, that was kind of a strained metaphor, but I think I get your point.
It's not strained. Haven't you ever seen out there and he bangs a hammer?
Hammer?
He's very good at it.
I approve.
Ranting Monkey, any other birth defects that are your kink? No.
Right? There is a whole array of amputee porn if you're interested, Monkey.
No, I'm good. That's not something I'm into. Thanks.
Okay.
Webbed feet and hands. Yuck.
I have noticed that the trajectory of discussing kink has moved from Scribe over to Monkey. Have you noticed that? It was a slow transition, but Scribe used to be the kinky one, and now it's like Monkey.
No, we just have different kinks.
Yeah, Monkey's always been fucked up.
Yeah, that's true.
Nothing new here.
Yeah, no, this is no news to me. This is fake news.
I'm gonna have to go
I'm sorry, go ahead, Hammer.
I was gonna say I have to go out and visit Pornhub to see what all these categories are. I guess I'm a prude, but I always most of the stuff is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't want to have to go. I don't want it to become populated. If I have to type in able-bodied into a porn search engine, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Oh God, the Jack Cochran says, did Abby and Brittany go as He-Man villain Too Bad for Halloween? Oh, I remember those guys. I remember that figure. I think I had that one.
Now Scott wants to know if we've been to Yosemite. No, I haven't. The only national park I've been to is the Redwoods.
I've been to Jellystone for a picnic basket.
Hey, boo-boo.
Hey, boo-boo. Gee, Yogi.
I am not ableist. I am disabled myself, so don't say that.
Jack J. Hess says, amputee porn is great. You don't know what you're missing.
Oh, fuck my stump.
Oh my God.
Okay. What's the weirdest porn y'all watch? Midgets, I would guess.
A celebrity, I guess. I don't really watch porn, but I kind of collect celebrity porn pictures.
Oh, sweet.
You have a not safe for work in most of the discords, and like I used to post midget porn for you in your server.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a not safe for work in Minions, and I every once in a while, when our resident gays schoolboy posts a lot of male porn, I'll go in there and post a lot of female porn just to counteract him.
So, do you have the Jennifer Lawrence pictures?
Oh yeah,
You have to send those to me. I've never seen. I didn't get to see those.
Really?
Just for research.
You really got to see the Money Shot one. It's just wow.
Well, how about who's the blonde models, the with the big chest that did this swimwear? What was her name?
Swimmer.
I don't know.
I can't remember her name, but not only she got pictures, but she's got video too.
What about you there, Scribe? What is the weirdest kind of porn you watch?
Weirdest kind of.
That was the question that was asked. So,
the weirdest. I mean, there's like situational stuff, like the fake taxi thing, you know,
sure.
Yeah, it's most. I mean, if you want to talk about the weird, I mean, I guess it's the setting, but there's nothing aside from the pomp and circumstance. I don't watch anything that's out of the ordinary, really. I mean, some bondage stuff, I suppose. That's probably weird for most people, but not for me. So I don't know.
Judge Death says, I thought it was balloon porn, Ranting Monkey. No, just because I know it's out there doesn't mean I watch it.
For me, it would probably be like normal hentai, which I say that because like even normal hentai is pretty, wow, out there. I refuse to watch the bizarre hentai because, oh my God, it goes into strange inflation Fuda stuff. And no,
I mean, Yuratsujogi, Legend of the Overfiend? You won't watch that? I mean, it's classic.
Jack Cochran says, I figured Scribe for hitchhiker or glory hole porn. Well, he said the taxi one.
I've seen glory hole porn before, and
it's
hitchhiker.
Boring.
Sure, I've seen hitchhiker porn. I mean, but it's all fake too. It's all like, the girl on the side of the street thing. Yeah, she's totally not. This isn't scripted or paid for. It's like whatever, I mean, I like amateur stuff, I suppose, more than I like scripted stuff, just because it's more. Real, so to speak. So,
Kate Upton was the girl I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like there's fappening of Kate Upton.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Hammer, you gotta hook me up, man.
I like amateur just because I like dirty bitches. And if you're doing it for money, I don't think you're that dirty of a bitch. I think you're just a hoe. Guys, we have 4 minutes left. I used up most of your time to talk about the two-headed freak girl. If you have any questions, ask now before we run out. Hammer and Polly will answer any questions you ask. Let's see.
That's an ominous invitation. Wow.
It is. I didn't say you would answer it sincerely
or correctly.
Jack Cochran brings up game show porn as a question.
Game show?
Which made me think of Japanese newscaster porn. You ever seen that?
Oh yeah,
no,
I've seen that.
What?
Is it Japanese? It's Japanese, right? It's Asian
porn.
Yes, just go to
a very
porn
specific category.
Yeah, you know how to get there, Monkey. Just go there and type in Japanese newscaster.
It's Japanese women who are broadcasting the news, and guys are next to them jacking off on their faces as they're doing the news.
Yeah, like Bukake style, one after another, and then one of them starts stripping them down and banging her while she's still reading the news. Yeah. It's apparently the Japanese have a huge fantasy and fetish life around newscasters.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying.
People are crazy.
I think it's the deal where she's in a responsible position doing something professional, but in the meantime is being taken advantage of and losing her power, quote unquote. I think that's the deal.
Oh, denigrating professional women? Yeah, okay.
Yes. I think that's it.
Japan is kind of a male-centric culture, so.
You have such a poor understanding of other cultures. That's like white ethnocentrism.
I know.
That's just don't you know you can't criticize other cultures in that way? Scubba says, "What's your favorite kind of Yuri hentai?" I don't even know what Yuri hentai is. Does
Yuri hentai is that a Russian? Yuri Gagarin?
Yeah, that YURI. I don't know enough about hentai to even know what that means.
No, I have no idea.
Okay, you're not kidding. Wow.
Oh my God.
Real-time reaction right here, folks.
Holy Jesus.
That's a little out there.
It's time to do a reaction video.
But I do have to say, people are like, they talk about, porn being degrading. And it's like, but the degradation, honestly, goes in every direction because there's female domination porn and there's, do you know what I mean? Like there's,
sure.
Every direction of it where it's like, there's disgraced porn where it's like, whether it's disgracing a newscaster or if it's Western porn, it's like usually like a cheerleader or a babysitter or something like that. And then there's like, dominating your boss where it's femdom, that kind of thing. So I don't know. It like you were talking about earlier, it's all, it's all fantasy life, right? That's
my opinion is if you sign up for it, you signed up for it. Unless people are being forced to make porn, I don't give a fuck what it turns out to be. Have fun. It's for enjoyment. If nobody's being forced, it's just work. And
I
with
just,
that,
okay. No, I was just gonna say, I just find it interesting, never-endingly, that Japan has all the weird shit. Like when they do weird cartoons, they do weirder than anyone else. When they do weird soda flavors, they do weirder than everyone else. I don't know what it is with that country, but they're incredibly creative.
I think it was 2 atomic bombs. And with that, guys, that's the end of the show. Chat, thank you guys so much for coming. Thanks for the donations. Thank you for hanging out with us every night. Scribbles, a pleasure as always. Hammer, Polly, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it. Good times.
Everyone, your life makes me sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, guys. There you go.